Okay, hi everyone, this is Koinzell here. So this is going to be the video about the Shadows buff. Shadow just received a huge buff for us in the Taiwan server today. Looking at the skill buffs, right, I think it's actually possible that you guys may get the buff at the same time today as well. But maybe just not one of the specific skills. So let me talk about that in detail. Okay, so first off, let's go to the patch notes. Okay, so the very first thing is to improve her dodge in terms of the distance as well as the movement for it to be smoother. So let's try that out. Okay, so not just the dodge, the auto collision as well. And the more important thing is that the auto collision no longer uses her dodge. For quite a period of time when I was using her previously, it uses up the dodge. Maybe on BDN Global it was already not using up the dodge, but for me previously it was. I'll try this. Yeah, it's not using up the dodge anymore, and it's also definitely smoother than before. Okay, let's look at the dodge distance now. Not very impressive if you ask me. Oh wait, actually, yeah, it's only increased ever so slightly, not that huge of a difference. Okay, wait. Because this is on my sub account, I just want to check whether or not her movements. Okay, her movement speed is not max, that's the reason why. Wait, why is it not max? I should have movement speed all over here, right? Okay, never mind. There is a way to solve this. Let's just use the buff. I remove it already. Hang on. Because the level 70 buffs gives the movement speed, so that's why I use it, so that we can then compare. Guys, it's really not that fast, honestly speaking. It's not a huge buff per se. It's just smoother, that's all. Okay, so then let's set auto attack here first. Let's look at the next skill, which is the dash attack, her assault skill. So now instead of 1 hit, right, it has been changed into 5 hits, and they have changed the animation where she really uses her sword to pierce and stab rather than just hitting with like a shoulder knock. It looks like a shoulder knock to me previously. Okay, the damage has also been changed, 137.5% times 5 instead of a flat 550. So let me take out the calculator. Okay, so 137.5 times 5. So it has been buffed, as you can see, 6675 versus 550. So that's what, 137.5. A boost of 137.5% over 550. That is a 25% boost to the damage. Of course, dash attacks are not like high damage to begin with. They are really more for you to have super armor and to chase and to connect, to control, so to speak. But it's still very nice. Let's look at the actual graphics now. Okay, let's turn off auto attack. Go back to this. Where is it? Oh, it's not on here. It's on the first setup. Okay, so this is the skill here. Let me just switch to my controller. Okay. Maybe frontal is not very obvious. Let me do from the side. So it is a step movement, as you can see here. And it also has a bigger AoE effect because of the step animation. Okay. In fact, it has a... I should do this. Let's see the maximum distance. Oh, it's really far. Guys, it's really far. I would say it's even further than, definitely further than Lance. You see that she actually dashes and then she attacks. So first she dash, Then she launches forward with that stabbing skill. So distance as cover is actually quite huge. Let's give it a try again. Yeah. Okay, let me try. Maybe we try somewhere without a mob. It's gonna be hard because we're in Hadu map. So even without a monster, it can still travel. Even without a target, it can still travel very far. A dash followed is basically the normal dash that we had previously, followed by a step attack. That is also a dash, but obviously if you have an enemy there, the step attack that's not the launch attack doesn't travel as far. Okay, let me show you guys what I mean. Okay, so now let's say we are not too far from the mobs here. So that dash attack doesn't travel far. But when you are far from them, you will actually travel. See? So it's actually very good in terms of the mobility for chasing people in Black Sun for sure. It's just that when you connect, the only caveat is that after the first dash, if you connect with an enemy, you won't dash further, which actually may be a good thing since you already hit your enemy. The only bad thing is, I would imagine, is that when you're in Black Sun and you're chasing your enemy while they are going through the mobs, right? You may end up stopping at the mobs here, while your opponent goes away. Actually, like your opponent is here. When you use that skill just now, you wanted to hit your opponent, but your launch attack will stop here. Okay, so that's what I mean by that. Okay, let's go back to the change list because there's really a skills being changed. So this has been buffed very significantly, I would say, because it's almost double the distance when you don't have any target in place. And not to mention that step damage, right? That step animation actually has a much bigger hitbox than the previous dash attack. Okay, basically her range skill, the one where she shoots like a small little ball of energy, right? That skill has now become her mobility skill. This is the super OP one where basically she wraps herself in darkness and she travels quite a bit of distance. Okay, let me see. Sorry, just adjusting the music a little bit. Okay, so there's no damage on this skill anymore. She does not have a range attack anymore. So what happens here is that by wrapping herself in darkness, she can move at a very great speed. And while she's wrapping herself in that darkness, right, that cast animation, she's invulnerable during that stage. And while moving, you can still take damage. It's just that you have super armor on. So that basically means that she can escape everything in Black Sun. And she'll be able to chase people with this in Black Sun as well. But chasing will be a bit more difficult since there's no attack after this. It's just pure movement and then you're supposed to use this skill. Which is fine actually. We imagine using this along with the dash attack. Yeah, it can cover quite a bit of distance. And cooldown for this, once you get it to I think level 2 or 3, it will be 8-second cooldown, which is the same as Lance Fly. Same as the mobility skill on Tamer as well. Okay, so this point here is just saying that while holding on to the skill button, you can be wrapped in darkness permanently. And while you're using other skills, while you're still casting other skills, you can immediately use this skill. That's why it's really good for escaping. Okay, so without further ado, let's try it out here. First off, let me claim the quest first. This is my sub account, so the quest is really easy. 1500 mods versus 5000. Alright, okay, so this is the skill that I was just talking about. See, look at the speed of the movement, guys. Look at the speed of the movement. Okay, so you can't last forever. Basically, the last time I would say is about the same as Lance flying movement. Oh my god, but it's so much faster. Is it? Let me think about it. It may be slightly faster than Lan actually, not much faster. Actually, it's about the same. Yeah, it's about the same. Okay, but it looks really good. And it's great for chasing people. The only thing that it loses out is that Lan's movement skill is actually invulnerable, which is invulnerable throughout. Whereas for the Dark Knight, right, this Shadow, right, it's only when that earlier portion, the initial part, right, you are invulnerable, but you are still you will have super armor, but you can still take damage while you are in that black darkness. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, so it lasts for as long as you press it, and it lasts for about 4 seconds, like the lance flying when you move it to the maximum as well. Because lance flying, it flies the longer you press as well. Yeah, I really like this skill. It's very fun to play with. I imagine this plus the dash attack will be great for chasing your opponents. See? So now her mobility has really improved a lot with this skill. Okay, let's move on to the next skill, and at the end of it I'll talk about what I think about this class, whether it's good now with all the buffs. Okay, the next one is that is 360 AoE skill where she do a swing throughout around her. So basically they have increased the casting animation of the skill itself, and the okay, the actual hitbox matches your graphics effect now. Previously I felt that the graphic effect was smaller than the actual hitbox. Okay, so let's see. Okay, while we wait for that skill to cool down. Oh, okay, because I changed the skill. So this is the one. So I have to say it's much faster actually. I feel it's much faster than before. Maybe before because they have actually buffed it twice since the last time I used her as a main. Yeah, but of course it's not. There is still a charge up compared to Lan. Lan is like really much faster. Her 360-degree skill. Not to mention that first spin skill of hers has a third move where it spins much faster and bigger area as well. Much bigger AoE. Yeah, this is actually quite small if you ask me. So this skill is lacking in that aspect. But in that return, I believe it does a lot more. It does more damage as well. Let me just do a quick check. Actually, no, the damage is more or less the same, maybe slightly higher. The one disadvantage about Shadow is that a lot of her skills with super armor are not effective in arena. If I'm not wrong, she only has a dash attack that's effective in arena, and a forward guard. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. So she's lacking the super armor area. That's where she suffers in the arena, honestly speaking. Okay, so that is this 360-degree skill. I'm not that impressed by it. It's definitely faster than before, but compared to Lan, it's lacking. Right? Okay, the next one is also the other 360-degree AoE skill that she has, the one where she slams the sword down onto the floor. So the buff here is cooldown reduction 9 to 8 seconds, slight increase in the casting animation and the AoE effect, and the hitbox matching the actual graphic display. Right, let's see. Okay, so this is the skill that I'm talking about. Okay, at least this skill has a much bigger hitbox, much bigger AoE effect, but the cooldown is also longer. Unlike the lance skill, don't forget the lance skill I can use twice with a long casting speed as well. But I just want to check something, whether or not it's because my level is at level 1, that's why I can use it once. No, you can really only use it once. But I can definitely tell that it's faster, the animation, because in the past it was really slower than this. AoE is definitely bigger now, or at least the display of it is. They did buff it a bit as well. Yeah, so that's not too bad. Well, the good thing is that in GVG, right, Shadow will be good because she has a lot of super armor skills, just that it's not effective in arena, that's all. So if you look at the list, GVG after using your dash attack or the mobility skill to get to your enemies. You can use this, which is super armor. I believe this has forward guard. Yeah, this has super armor. This has super armor. This no super armor. Alright. So that is like 3-4 skills with super armor. Very typical of a melee class, to be honest. But still nice. Okay. Let's look at the next skill. The next skill will have an actual buff in damage itself. This is the skill where she swings upward, the one with the forward guard. Okay, so this is the skill with the forward guard. Basically they have improved the casting animation speed slightly, so she will basically that wave comes out earlier, and there's a direct damage boost of actually it's only less than 10%. Yeah, it's less than 10%. Okay, it's 10% in PvP, but less than 10% in PvE. Okay. So actually, that is it for the Dark Knight buffs. I would say it's a buff to make her. How should I put it? It's a buff to make her up to speed with the other melee classes that has more mobility now. But in terms of the actual boost, right? The AoE that she has is a bit still a bit too limited, still too small, I would say. She's lacking super armor skills in arena for sure, and although there's some damage buff, I would say it's not significant enough that I would want to switch my main to her. At least for Shadow, I have not tried out Darkness yet. Darkness also got a huge buff, but what I can tell is for the Shadow, right? The buffs are really just to give her a bit of a catch up with the rest of the classes, really. And the mobility movement skill is very nice, I would say. It's actually the nicest change to her right now, along with the dash attack with the additional launch distance. So all in all, it's very nice to see this buff to the Shadow, but whether or not it's OP, I would say it's not. So I think it's very possible that you guys will get these buffs today, but maybe just not the mobility skill, because you don't have Black Sun, you don't have Battlefield of Sun yet, so this mobility skill, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really make sense for her to have this at the same time. But the devs may be lazy and they just implement everything at the same time to you as well. That's possible. Okay, so that is it for the Shadow review, the buff review. Unfortunately, although she was my first character, I don't think I'll be changing my main back to her. I'll try the Darkness to know for sure, because Darkness is honestly the very first one I used was Darkness, because we had Awakening before Ascension. Okay, so that is it for this video. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have liked the content so far, remember to like the video and click subscribe for more. Alright, I'll end the video with the usage of that nice movement skill again. It feels faster than Lan for some reason, but if you ask me about actual distance and time, it is the same when I go on a straight line. It's just that when you turn, it feels faster. Yeah, right. This is nice. It would be very good in chasing people in Black Sun. Very good on that. And it will be very good in the Battlefield of Sun for her to like assassinate the bad line. It's just that her problem is that her 2 AoE skills are not big enough. This skill is the only one that is big. This is too small, in my opinion. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. Okay, I just like this, so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Bye.